Welcome to Group Dates and Hot Takes, a Bachelor Nation podcast. I'm Sampy.
And I'm Christy, and we're back to recap Katie's season of The Bachelorette.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Katie's season. Today we have Christy, of course, as always. Hello, Christy.
Hello.
And we also have our good friends Landon and Melanie with us today to discuss the Men Tell All. How are you guys doing today?
I'm pumped.
Yeah, I have some hot takes, and I am ready to throw them
We're almost about to get in an argument
I
in
like
the cars.
Well, this is the place for hot takes. So you have reached the station here. Where would you like to start things off, Christy?
Well, we got an email from Emily last week. So remember how we were confused about the gum that Katie and Greg were blowing on their little one-on-one date? Apparently, there's a gum wall in Seattle where everybody sticks their used gum on a wall. So they were kind of like riffing on that, I think. So
Ew.
yeah, apparently it gets several inches thick.
That is literally my least favorite thing in the entire world.
I hate that I know that exists now.
Oh my gosh. If they had filmed Elf over there, I can imagine him going to the gun wall.
Oh no. No, we don't want that in our life whatsoever. Interesting. So that was just another attraction, just in addition to all the fish and everything.
Yes, but they didn't explain that, of course. But
Well, it was also a very brief cutaway shot there with the two of them. But thank you, Emily, one of our most faithful listeners. I guess we should probably find out what these two friends of ours think or thought about the season so far. That's probably a good place to start.
Good question. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like not this episode, but maybe like the past couple episodes, it was like kind of, getting in a lull there. I was like, okay, not keeping my attention as much, but I feel like it started out really strong, and I like Katie for the most part, so I've enjoyed it.
I really liked it. I really liked seeing the guys going from like hating one another to like forming little cliques. It's felt like I've only seen like 3 seasons of The Bachelorette so far, but this one has had so much drama. I don't know if it's like normal, but it definitely feels like there was a lot more tension.
What do you have to say about that, Christy? Is this level of tension normal?
I would say yes, and I've even seen more in past seasons. I don't know if like the lack of travel impacts this at all, but seems pretty normal with the drama at least.
Yeah, I guess maybe it seems more petty than usual, perhaps, since they're just sitting in that prison resort just for a few weeks, right? Like, they're not, they're group dates. They're not going anywhere special. They're not doing anything that, like, some strapped for cash, like, young poor couple hasn't done to try to, like, have their relationship be exciting. Like, oh, wow, we're gonna get cheap props and pretend we're in Seattle. Oh, we're gonna put up some Christmas lights, from the attic and put them up in the night and in the trees, and it's gonna be so romantic. Like, it's not. It seems very low stakes from a date perspective. That it just seems kind of funny for there to be so much just raw aggression when you're fighting for Instagram followers, you're fighting for a short engagement, but it seems silly. That's just me, maybe.
A lot of the challenges to me felt like on like group dates, like almost like youth group challenges that you'd like see at like camp, like at summer like church camp. And today we're gonna eat a hot pepper, you guys. Watch out.
Very low budget.
Yeah. Which I don't know why. Like, you think that they would have a bigger budget to do more things since they're not traveling. I don't know
Yeah.
if, like, the Chris Harrison payout was just that big of a blow to them. But, yeah, it's been rough, the dates.
Yeah, I don't know if they just have really profoundly struggled with creativity in the more limited setting.
Mhm.
Because this show has been going on for absolute ages. So they have, I'm sure they have some giant war chest worth of money. I mean, they generally pay for these people to traipse across the world for this silliness. So
Mm-hmm.
I think they just have completely run out of ideas. And then when they were faced with this difference in setting, they're just like, oh my goodness, I guess let's have them take a bath in butter?
It's like just throwing darts at, like, a board of, like, just random.
Oh well, I'm sure they'll regain their footing, once they recapture some of those dollars that were used to silence Chris Harrison. Hopefully they can hire some bright, enthusiastic interns with some better date ideas here, because I don't know how much longer they can last as a show if they don't go places.
The drama's going to have to get a lot bigger, or the dates are going to have to get a lot bigger. One has to happen.
Uh-huh. Yes, I think I can speak for the people when I say we want more excitement.
Mm-hmm.
More than just, oh man, Carl's being an idiot again.
Oh man, Carl.
Great.
I feel bad
Yeah,
for
did
Carl
you-
a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Like,
I
I'm not a Carl fan. Like, he obviously was lying and was acting like a fool. But at the end of the day, like, the way they, like, constantly are ganging up on him, it's like, okay, man, like, it's over and done. Why are we acting like a bunch of high school boys? Like, and then when they both stood up, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is too much. It's like, we're about to see a fight break out.
Oh my
yeah, that's what I thought as well. That was kind of an interesting dynamic to me, because it was very much a sort of shark with blood in the water type situation earlier in the season, particularly, where you'd see something happen and somebody was like the wounded person, or somebody was like the hated person, and all the rest of them would be like, oh my goodness, we gotta tear this person apart. And then that person would go home and everything would be fine for a minute, and then it would be like, oh my goodness, we gotta tear this person apart.
It's like they
And
unionized.
that, I mean,
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did majorly, because that happened with Cody, that happened
Mm-hmm.
with Carl, and that happened with Thomas, and that happened with Hunter to some extent, I
Mhm.
guess,
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah,
seen
there's
that
a
before.
lot of unionizing.
They're learning. They're growing smarter every day.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it only took what 20 something seasons for them to.
There's strategy involved. It's power in numbers.
Yeah, they finally realized that it should be more of a Survivor situation than a classic Bachelor sort of situation in the age of just. It's a new era, we're post Instagram here. Anything can happen.
Post Instagram.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, not of course past it,
Oh.
but
Oh.
post the inception,
Oh. Okay.
which changed everything.
Yeah.
It's not. I hate to spoil this for you guys, but The Bachelor and The Bachelorette are no longer about love. It's
What?
all about the followers.
Wait.
Why
What?
did that happen?
I think in the beginning you hear so much in these seasons, like, I believe in the process. Like, you have to trust the process. It's like, I firmly
You don't
this.
believe.
I'm like, what process? I don't.
That is kind of a hot take.
Yeah. I mean, the process of eventually getting into Bachelor in Paradise, because I feel like that's where
the fun happens.
That's where the fun happens. And, like, actually, I think more relationships that have lasted have come out of, like, Bachelor in Paradise. I think I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I hate to say this as a Bachelor Nation podcaster, but I just sort of get the feeling that it's a very unhealthy situation just overall. And perhaps we shouldn't be encouraging people to participate in this, maybe. And also, I don't want to say it necessarily goes against God and nature, but a kind of, like somebody dating, dating 35 people at the same time. I don't know if people really equipped to handle that mentally and emotionally.
It's really weird it's like almost taboo, like, to say, like, it's really hard for me to watch you date other people, like being on The Bachelor. Like, I feel like if you say that, it's like, oh, he didn't just say that. Like, oh my gosh.
I don't like seeing you kiss 30 other men.
She's like, you don't like seeing me kiss 30 other men? Excuse me? What?
That did kind of happen with Greg at one
Yes.
point, right? As he was all, he is maybe the most sad person I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
But he was struggling.
Talk about guys.
His poor little heart was breaking, seeing all this affection going around. But it's what you sign up for.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Greg fan.
Ooh.
I know the internet is all aflutter about him, but I question his genuine spirit.
This is where
No, he's
Melanie
not
and
there
I
for the right
diverge.
reasons.
The dreaded, the ultimate sin.
They're not there for the right reasons.
I don't, like, he's not into Katie.
Yes,
Like, I just
that's
don't
what I've been
see it at
thinking.
all. It just feels like she's, like, throwing herself at him, and he's just kind of, like, just not
take
feeling
it or leave it, really.
But at this point, he's kind of, like, too far into it, so he can't do anything about it.
I really like Greg. He seems really genuine to me.
He's an actor. He wants you to like him.
I don't know. I have a soft spot in my heart for him. It's Blake. I think Blake is the genuine one.
Well, I may agree with you there. Man, yeah.
I just think Greg
Well, I
has all the
guess,
power, basically.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and he doesn't want it.
He was coming on the show to have some fun, meet some friends, get some Instagram followers, and now he's in top 2, and he's like, what am I doing? Am I going to be engaged in a week? Poor guy.
I never wanted this for myself. All I wanted was to get eliminated after I had, gained, say, anywhere from a couple 100,000 to maybe 1 million Instagram followers, and then be a Bachelor in Paradise and actually have a good time, and then, but no. Yeah, it must be terrible for him. Must be so terrible. Well, should we get into the Men Tell All? What a drama-filled event.
Yeah, well, they did give us this short little Michael.
Which I think is
thing.
why we were so confused, because we kept seeing little snippets of things.
Yeah, weird editing, I guess, but we kind of start with Michael having a chat with his son on the phone. And this kind of like changed everything, which I kind of wonder what would have happened if, because basically James is worried that Michael doesn't want to see him. So I wonder if James doesn't say that, does Michael leave? But
So sad.
yeah,
As our Men Tell All guests, what did you guys think about that? Because I have some very strong feelings about what happened here.
Well, Michael was my favorite on the show, and I kind of had a feeling that eventually he was gonna have to choose to like stay or like go be with his son, because he was obviously having a really hard time throughout the early part of the season. And so it wasn't a huge surprise for me to see it happen. But I was really surprised when Katie said, like I could like right after he said, I was like, I thought it was gonna be me and you at the end of this. I was like, oh wow, she like really liked him,
Yeah.
which made me even more sad because I really liked them together. But,
Yeah, I don't know if she would have picked him in the end. I think that's hard for me to. I thought he was gonna make like top 3 and then get cut, but I don't know. Like I don't know. I wish he would have stayed so we could have had like a potential outcome, but like I'm not a parent. I don't know what it's like to have your child be like, "Why don't you want to see me?" Like I'm sure that like tore him in half.
Yeah.
So. But
Yeah, it just seemed a little short-sighted in my opinion, I guess, just with how close they were to wrapping everything up. I mean, I don't know schedule for sure, but they couldn't have had more than a handful of additional days of filming, right, Christy?
Yeah, I mean, she's got the 3 hometowns plus like fantasy suites, I guess, left.
So yeah, I don't know. It just seems strange to me that even, and of course I have to do the disclaimer, I too am not a parent and don't know what that's like. But it seemed like, oh, okay, well, like reassure him from long distance for another like 3 days, and then maybe he actually then gets to have a mom again.
I don't know. I kind of just wondered, like, did Michael think this through, like, thoroughly beforehand to say, okay, this is the amount of time I'm going to be gone for, and if I can't handle being away for this long, then, I don't know. It's like he was so close to the end. But
what surprised me is when he was saying goodbye, and he, instead of like consoling Katie, he was like, you know, this is hard for me too. Imagine me being away from my son for so long, while she's like crying in his arms, and I'm like, oh wow.
you're not a parent, you don't know.
Yeah, Landon. Jeez, you're not a parrot.
I mean, also like, I'm sure to a certain extent, like, I mean, like the kid's mom passed away, so maybe he feels like this certain like the kids endured so much trauma, and so like at just like the spark of him not doing well, he just like needs to be there by his side, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that it wasn't necessarily the right call, but it just was kind of a bummer because, as you guys know, I love drama, and I feel like it probably, in my opinion at least, I feel like perhaps we somewhat share an opinion here, Landon, but I feel like if Katie is going to marry someone from the show, or marry them, get engaged to someone from her season, and you have to pick between Michael A. and Blake, it's like, is there really, like, as far as seeming like character and just strength of person there, you would probably want to choose Michael A. versus the guy who's just like, well, I'm going through life and I'm just kind of a train wreck and I can't control myself, and here's a picture of like a weird sex act because I can't really draw anything that symbolizes how important we are together. I don't know.
I will agree. I think Michael is clearly the better choice in human beings, but I think Blake might be a better fit for Katie. Like, I don't know. I know that she said a lot of things, but I don't know if she actually was like, maybe she was a bit naive about like jumping into the role of like a stepmom and like uprooting
I'm
her
sure,
life and all that. So like,
I never pictured her settling down in Ohio right now.
yeah,
Just like based on her social media and everything, she seems more of like the free spirit.
right. I'm sure she
Party
wants to travel,
person,
not have
yeah.
kids for a bit. And
Yeah.
Because how old is she? Like 20?
She's
Is
like
she older or
I
late
think she's almost
20s, 30?
Yeah, I was gonna say almost 30.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Wow, so old for a Bachelorette. Just ridiculous to see all these contestants that are. So many of them are younger than me. I'm like, what is going on here?
What's the norm in like age
Unbelievable.
range?
For the lead?
Yeah, for like Bachelorette or
I feel like it used to be maybe older. Maybe it's gotten younger.
Is that what
I'm
it
not
is?
sure.
I don't know. It kind of varies. Like Hannah Brown was like 24.
yeah,
But
she was
then-
young.
Claire was like 39. So
Which Claire was marketed right as like, oh wow, we're
As
we're
the
broadening
oldest
our horizons.
Bachelorette.
We're gonna, yeah,
She's a
which
senior
is
citizen.
so. Well, not for she won't be the oldest Bachelorette for long, because they're trying to do a seniors version.
No
That's
way.
right.
No way. I
Who
would
wants to
watch
see?
that.
No offense, but like I don't enjoy the kissing now, and I don't
know,
think I'll
right?
enjoy it anymore when they're like.
I only have 5 years left, but I'm gonna make the most of it.
Oh my gosh. Are they still gonna make the men like wrestle in speedos and whatever?
Just have a passionate kiss and a couple pairs of dentures fall out. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I keep seeing the promos, like the casting promos during episodes for that, but we'll see if it gets off the ground.
Wow.
Oh man. Well, Christy, lead us into the official Men Tell All now.
yes. This part is just kind of like a lot of crosstalk, people going back and forth. Like they introduce all the guys and then they start bringing up the drama again, basically. Aaron still
Of
doesn't
course.
like Cody.
Surprise, surprise.
We still didn't get a clear thing as to what exactly Cody posted on Instagram that was so bad. I don't know what it was.
You know, he doesn't seem like he respects women. Like it's a big thing.
I feel like Aaron has very like binary, like he either loves you or hates you. He's just like the way he thinks, which is kind of funny. Like I kind of like him.
Well, maybe like at one point in the show, like I don't like you, and that's not my fault. No, that's your fault.
And the fact that he called Thomas his mortal enemy.
Oh my
Just so
gosh.
dramatic.
My mortal
Yeah.
enemy. I didn't like
Yeah,
him from the beginning, but he grew up with the
He's
show.
funny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would have ever been my choice for any sort of staying power this season, but it was pretty funny. I mean, in the episode, in the Men Tell All here at one point, I forget who he was talking about even, but they were going back and forth on the drama, and somebody was like, yeah, like these, like, I don't want to say that this person is like a terrible person, and he's just like, oh no, I think they're a terrible person.
I think they were talking about Thomas, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Probably.
like, oh no, I'll say he's a bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a real bad dude. Yeah, I mean he definitely had very strong opinions on things for sure. How did you feel about the Michael beard?
Oh,
It
oh
looks
my
so
goodness.
good.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. He was the one out of the whole crowd that like had like a glow up.
Real,
You know what I mean?
yeah, real glow up. Yeah,
Like a Tony Stark type vibe. It was like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
unlike last season's Women Tell All, that was a different beard direction, just like
Oh.
all over the place. Yeah, no, personal grooming is important. I think we can all agree on that. But the question that I have is, who is Kyle and why was he there? Who is this man?
Kyle. I don't even know.
I don't
Yes,
even
you
know.
don't even know.
Wait, was he? He has like dark hair and he was wearing like a gray suit.
I think so.
Because I remember when they were going one by one, I was like, "Who is this man? Like, I don't know who
Yeah.
that is. I've never seen him. Katie's never
Like,
seen
didn't-
him."
Didn't he go home like the second week or something?
Like,
Like-
why was he there and not Thomas?
Yeah,
I mean,
Ryan's
I would
photographer.
imagine it was probably some sort of COVID protocol
Maybe. I
type
don't
thing,
know.
or he was worried that physical harm would come to him if he showed up. You know
I'm
how
sad
people.
that John wasn't there.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
And he's
He
like
would've
been
been
hating
way
on
better.
Katie and like her Instagram. She's been posting
Yeah.
photos with him.
Oh boy,
I know.
Scandalous.
scandalous. 'Cause, yeah, I don't understand why that was a choice that was made. You know, having Kyle there instead of somebody, you know, that we
Mhm.
actually enjoyed.
Is Bachelor in Paradise like filming now?
They already filmed it.
So did they film it during this?
They
Is that
filmed
maybe
it
why-
before this.
Oh, okay.
I thought some people
So-
from this season got on the.
Yeah, cause like
They
Mhm.
are.
Trey.
Yeah, like Connor.
Yeah.
Thomas.
Aaron, I think. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Connor?
I have mixed feelings on Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Care to elaborate?
Like I enjoyed watching him. Like I thought the first night with the whole cat costume was great and all that, but then like he kept bringing out the ukulele like a few too many times. So I got a little tired of it by the end.
It's kind of like I'm just gonna keep going back to church camp analogies. Is that guy that carries a guitar around with him everywhere he goes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was me.
Well-
I was that guy.
Because he grew out
That-
of it.
Yeah.
Connor is he's still deep in it.
Okay.
The funny thing with that too, though, is that so he's a school teacher, but he's a math teacher.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a music teacher,
Yeah.
but somehow still brings the ukulele everywhere.
Well, he is
with
from
him.
Nashville, so
Oh, that is a good point. That is a good point. Maybe he's a songwriter. We should find his Spotify page.
Yeah, maybe he will make some music with that lady he was all over during the mental hall.
That was the worst.
Oh my
thing
gosh.
I've ever seen.
Well,
Oh my
Christy,
God.
speaking of that, do you want to spill the potential tea on that?
oh
I
yeah,
don't know
that
if
was
that-
a
if
that was a plant.
That's
that
what I
woman.
thought too. I was like, there's
Didn't
no
they
way this
put
is
out like
real.
a casting call for it?
Yeah, like she got paid to do that apparently. Like the whole description was literally word for word what happened in the show.
Wow.
So
Makes me kind of. I
Guys.
feel a little bad for him if he didn't like realize that. And he was like, "Oh wow, some pretty girl wants to kiss me." Okay.
Ooh.
I mean, he didn't he respond to that, Christy?
yeah, I don't remember now what he said. It's something like, "Oh, it wasn't bad," or "I liked it," or something like that. I don't know.
I'm sure he
Yes,
did.
as far as people getting paid to kiss me goes, it was fairly enjoyable for me.
I was thinking
was
the
just-
girl in the audience who was dressed like a cat. She was probably jealous. I felt
Oh,
bad
yeah.
for her.
Yeah, because that the sad thing is, right? So they paid someone to do this, but that lady in the
She
cat
did it for
costume
free.
probably wasn't paid to do it, and she was such a huge fan.
Oh man. Oh man.
I just found it real cringy. Like just
Yeah.
awkward.
Yeah. Landon's
Yeah, but
jaw was like wide
Oh
open.
yeah. I was like, there's no way this is real. There's no way this is real.
Well, I mean, it happened, but it also wasn't real.
Wow.
Wow,
Poetry
Steve.
snaps. I'm doing poetry snaps right now. So.
I do think
My
it was
favorite
funny.
reaction was the guys.
Yeah, that was kind of
That was
cute how
funny.
they were
They were
like,
cute.
amping him up.
Yeah, there was a lot of bonding
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah.
You know, perhaps we'll see some relationships come out of that are more successful than Katie's.
In Paradise.
Because I mean, I don't want to speculate or anything, but and maybe this is just they decided to be very Italian, but there were certain intervals where there was kissing going on, like between the contestants. not like the kisses with Katie, but so who knows? I mean, honestly, that would kind of be a brilliant play if that was like if you're just like, no, I'm not actually straight, but I'm gonna pretend to be straight so that I can be around like a group of these people and then just like have my own happiness there. You never know. It's 2020 after all.
Oh,
You never know. Anything could
2020.
happen. Yeah. I mean, if Katie's allowed to be sex positive and find a husband, then I feel like anything is possible.
I wonder, like, when the inevitable, like, first not straight bachelor or bachelorette is gonna happen. Like, do you think it's down the line, or it's just like they're not gonna touch that?
I don't know.
I would say it's probably gonna be another 7 to 8 years
Oh, wow.
before that happens. I don't want to throw too much shade here, but I don't think that ABC moves particularly quickly. And I think they don't want to, particularly in light of everything that went down with last season, I don't think they want to alienate all of those wine moms who maybe aren't ready to see
two men
that.
kissing.
Yeah.
Just look at the
Also, I
response to
guess-
having a black bachelor.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're right. That's like half their, maybe more than half their audience is like middle-aged white moms. So.
Yep. Yeah. So I think that they'll probably be very careful, and I would imagine they'd probably, just based on like societal perceptions, they'd probably go with like a lesbian lead way sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Eventually, they're gonna have someone that's bi, and then just fill the house with half guys, half girls, and.
That's like.
But that's gonna be 12 to 15 years.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like
Just with
Paradise is more ripe for something like that.
Yes.
Where it's just like
Yeah.
free for all.
Just kind of a
We did
Yeah.
see that on Paradise actually the last time. Remember Demi?
Oh, right, she's bi.
I've-
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I've never seen that show in my entire life.
It's really good. Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch it now.
Yes.
Let's see.
Anything goes really. Like there was a point where they sent somebody home and they just showed back up and says, "Hey, I don't really want to go. Can I just kind of stay?" And everyone was like, "Yeah, sure." And they just kept going. Like nothing happened.
It's a Wild West out
Oh
there.
my gosh.
So I'm gonna show my complete lack of education here, but is Bachelor in Paradise more of sort of a Survivor situation where people are like, we don't like you, leave, or is there actual progression?
They slowly add more people as time goes on.
Wait, what?
And if you're not in a relationship, like at a certain point, it's almost like musical chairs. Like you're gone.
Yeah, so it works like 1 week the women get to choose a man to keep. So every woman gives a man a rose. And then every other week it's vice versa. The men give a rose to a woman. So if you're not like making a connection with somebody or in a relationship, you're not going to get a rose from somebody.
You gotta progress your relationship.
Yeah.
And the way they keep
So-
the
so-
dynamics.
So people could get more than one rose potentially.
No.
Oh wow, I've never
At
seen
least
that.
not that I've
Theoretically,
ever seen.
maybe.
I don't know how this works. I'm just
We're
saying
writing the show
stuff.
ourselves now. Bachelor guys, are y'all taking notes? Cause where do we pick up our checks
mean-
at?
Yeah, I could definitely use a royalty check from them. I will say I did kind of think that some hands were going to get thrown there sort of near the beginning of the Men Tell All. I mean, you just had like Carl, you had like Cody stuff happening. I just if Carl wasn't such a big wuss, I would say maybe something would have actually happened.
He's all
Yeah, he's
talk
a lot of
though.
talk.
Oh yeah, he is all bark, no bite for sure.
I
I
just
don't, like, Brendan was definitely the one who's like kept poking, and it's like I don't know if he's just trying to get like his 15 minutes of fame, but like
Yes.
he didn't get enough time in the regular
Absolutely.
season, so
Yeah.
yeah.
No, he was pretty PO'd about that. You know, all he needed was a little time, and she'd see that they were perfect for each other.
I did think it was funny though that Carl said that Brendan only showed up for a free trip to the U.S. so he could drink beer.
I know, that was like wow.
Okay.
Talk about grasping at straws to try to make the situation more or like less embarrassing for you, because you made such a fool out of yourself during the actual season.
It's like weird. He basically doubled down on his character. He didn't like take any steps to make it better.
Oh no, he is still a total fool.
I feel like in every season there's going to be some people who aren't there for the right reasons. You know what I mean? And you don't really have to say, some people here aren't just here for the right reasons.
It's like saying water is wet.
It's like saying, oh, tomorrow the
Ooh.
sun's going to come up. You know what I mean? But it just creates drama. It's like,
He really thought he was doing something.
Yeah, and now he's like,
Yeah, I mean, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say
Kristen.
now he is like, oh, I knew it was Thomas the whole time, which like nobody believes that.
Yeah.
and ultimately he's going to say, I was right. Look, I was right.
Yep.
It's like, of course you were.
Yeah, like that is so funny because he basically tried to play it like it was Survivor,
Yeah.
but he also just showed that he had absolutely zero leverage over anybody. And that's why he went home, because he tried to play Survivor and he totally failed.
Mhm.
I don't understand how he's a motivational speaker. Like,
I
Ooh.
know. Every time I saw him, I was less motivated.
it was demotivated.
Oh my god! Imagine
I mean,
Carl showing
hopefully-
up to your next like work.
That'd be great, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Management
I'd probably
is
stick
like,
around.
I know you guys have been really struggling lately, but we brought somebody in to liven you up, to get some pep back in your step, to really motivate you to go be above and beyond. Carl, everyone. That may be a little mean, but still.
There's got to be videos of him doing his speeches somewhere. I feel like
Yeah.
I have to go find some just to see him in action.
Yeah, I'll have to maybe comb social media and see if we can find something to post on Instagram. Because, I mean, what? Because he was also pretty young, right? So, like, what? How is he motivating people? What is he drawing
Who's
from?
paying him?
Yeah.
to show?
That's an even better question. Who's paying him?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I guess that's better than the skin salesman.
Oh man,
Not by a whole lot.
I still don't understand what that job is, and I don't really want
You sell skin.
Yeah.
I don't
to. And he brought her into his RV that was messy. It was weird.
It's like, come into my RV. I was like, instant red flag. Like, I was like, I would not go. Don't do it.
Yeah, the only thing that made it slightly better was that they actually had an entire film crew and producers and everything, so the likelihood of getting brutally murdered was pretty low. It's really the only advantage there.
Yeah.
Tell me y'all's take on Hunter.
Oh, I love Hunter. I like him a lot. I feel like he had the most growth out of all the drama men. And I don't think he lied when he said he wasn't in love, and then when he said he was falling in love. Like those are two different things.
I will agree, because that's like a common distinction in the Bachelor world. Like you say, I'm falling in love, and then you say I'm in love with you. So I feel like he was right in saying that, and I do think that he was genuine and he had feelings for her, and I feel like they ganged up on him a little bit too much.
I follow him on Twitter. He only has like 200 followers on Twitter as of like.
Oh no! So the season did not work out for him.
No.
Yeah.
Unless maybe he's doing better on Instagram.
I bet you.
Hopefully.
He is.
Yeah, he got a lot of hate. People making all kinds of nasty comments, unfortunately. Even James had that half-sized joke saying he's like...
He kept making, like, short troll, like, goblin jokes. And it's like, okay, like, maybe once it's funny, but, like, over and over and over.
Yeah, he can't change his height, like... Come on, people.
Yeah, or the fact, like, he maybe isn't the most conventionally attractive person that's ever been on The Bachelor, but, like, is he really any, like... more awful to deal with than somebody like James, who just looks like you look at him and you like basically throw up because he's so pretentious.
James is definitely an Italian mob boss. The way he slicks his hair back, I feel like he's sending out threats under the table, like, I send my family after you.
I think it's weird how all the people that did like the weird intros like made it to like super far into the season. You know, and you've got Catsuit Guy, you've got Box Guy. It's like they're all. I've never seen that happen.
Interesting choices.
Yeah, interesting choices, Katie.
Yeah, you had the gimmick of Andrew and the accent.
And the ball pit.
Yeah, that's right.
I think Katie likes gimmicks.
Yeah.
The only gimmick that didn't work was the camper.
Because that wasn't a gimmick, that was just real life.
Yeah. He's like, no, this is actually my home. This is where I live.
She's like, look, I will live in Austria with Andrew if I have to. I will even live in Ohio and be a stepmom, but I will not live in a camper van. Yeah, that would have been a bridge too far. But I guess I would say that for on my perspective of Hunter, I would say I may be in between you guys. I would say that I don't particularly like him, but I also don't dislike him, and I think that how he was treated was quite undeserved. I mean, you basically had this group. It's like, okay, we get it. Like, you guys are more attractive than normal people. Do you really have to, like, bludgeon this guy with it? It's like, I felt, I related to him in that, because, like, who wants to, like, I'm not the most beautiful person either. Like, who wants to just get their self-esteem crushed by a group of beautiful people who are like, you're short, and your face looks like a troll, and also you're a troll because you're short, and leprechaun, why don't you go find your pot of gold? Like, it made zero sense to me.
I didn't like his hyper-violent episode.
Yeah, that was true.
Yes, I feel like some of that was the edit, you know?
Yeah. That was like a weird shift, because he wasn't like that before that one episode. And then after that, he was just like, still like, well, screw the guys, I like Katie. But he wasn't like, I'm going to beat everybody down today. And that's how I'm going to get Katie's heart.
I mean, he did literally say that one episode, didn't he? Who's like, I don't care about them, I'm just going to destroy them. Yeah, which I think that it probably, I mean, I guess depending on your opinion of Connor, but the fact that Connor then sort of stood up for him during the Men Tell All about, like, look, I actually was his roommate, and I could tell you that he was falling in love with her. I think that does say a lot, and goes to show you, I think it's probably fairly easy to fall into that sort of mob mentality if you have a group of people who generally, right? I mean, it just ends up being a clique, you know, where the guys who are maybe more favored, or at least like they sort of are like, oh, like, you're nice, like, I'm nice, he's nice, okay, like, let's be friends. Like, that becomes very powerful I think. And even though you had a group of guys that were fairly decent, though I'm not going to get into the whole Andrew and Justin scandal, but you sort of had that dynamic of, oh, they're like Katie likes these guys, but then they're also like capable of just severely bullying this guy.
Yeah.
Not a great look.
It says something about him that Connor was like, hey, I know he's a good guy. Because I feel like nobody stood up for Carl.
Mm-mm.
Nobody stood up for Thomas, saying they were
Nope.
good guys,
Nope.
But I think the fact that there were guys in the house that were like, no, he was fine. He was being honest, It says a lot.
Yeah. Watch out for peer pressure, everyone. It's a powerful force.
It's true. It's true.
Should we
a
discuss
very-
Andrew?
Yes, though I will say I thought it was pretty funny how Connor brought up how after the season he went and texted a bunch of his exes to ask them if them to rate his kissing ability.
1 to 10. 1 to 10. Just let me know. Be honest.
Be honest with me. My heart is broken. I think I might be a bad kisser.
When he went home, like he was like the most sad going home. Like,
Good gray guys. Sad
Oh my
gray
gosh.
guys.
oh, I almost cried.
Yeah, that was rough.
Not because I was gonna miss him. I mean, he's great, but his reaction just kind of got me.
Yeah, he was pretty broken up about it.
They definitely started out strong,
They
and
did.
then I think it was just like at a point where Katie was like, "I am not like physically attracted to him," and she just like needed to
Oh
cut.
dang.
I think I have something to tell him, and I don't think he's gonna like to hear it, but maybe it's the ukulele. That's all I'm gonna say.
And just burn it.
Coming from a guy who owns a ukulele, maybe it's the ukulele. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it's not every situation requires a song/poem sort of mashup, that freestyle.
The first
I mean,
time
he
on the
had,
first
you know,
date
yeah.
was cute, and I was like, "This is clever." He's got a nice voice, and then he kept whipping it out, and I'm like, "Hey."
Also, you pointed out
Yeah.
that Katie was always the first one to pull away when they kissed. Like,
Every time they kiss, like if you go back and watch,
Oh,
she's
no.
always the one pulling away. Like she is not into it, and it's so obvious when you watch it. It's
Oh
rough.
no. Yeah, I guess ultimately their relationship had not progressed as far as some of the other ones, and so he just had to go. Sometimes you just don't feel it. You don't feel that chemistry, the spark. When someone says sex positive and hell bent upon obtaining a husband, as Katie is, you gotta respect the spark. That's all I'm saying.
Respect the spark.
Yep. Sorry, I did derail that a bit. Andrew, yes, let's talk about Andrew.
I like
What
it.
did you want to talk about?
Yeah, just your thoughts. I liked him quite a bit. I was surprised he went home last week.
I don't know why Justin is still there. I'm sure he
Yeah.
doesn't know why he's still there. But Andrew definitely should have been in the top 3. And also, do you think he's the next Bachelor? Because they're definitely
Yeah.
giving him that edit.
Yeah, he got that edit. Yeah, as well as Michael. But
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do the thing that they did with the Bachelorette this season, to be like, oh, we
Switch
couldn't
it up.
decide. Well, look, we got it. I guess okay, and I don't. I hate to go here, but part of me is like, ABC thinks that Bachelor Nation after last season can't handle just a black bachelor. So they need to have a black bachelor, and then they have a white bachelor, they have
They
to
need
have
a
a black.
buffer.
Yeah, like they need, like they have to kind of mix things up. So right, so we have Katie's season, but then that's for all the wine moms, and then we have we have Michelle's season after that, which hopefully the wine moms will get into it and won't be as angry as they have been lately, but like we're kind of expanding the audience. That would be silly. But I could also see ABC doing something like that. We're like, I'm not quite sure that our audience can handle this yet, but we also don't want to get yelled at by people on the internet for continuing not to cast anybody who isn't Irish.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to do two black ones back to back.
Well, that's what I'm saying is they'll do Michael next, and then they'll do Andrew.
I just don't know if Michael would do it.
Yeah, for his son, I think unless they let his son be there on site with him.
That's what they did with Amanda way back when, right?
Yeah, Emily, I think.
Yeah, her too.
I mean, I guess that
something.
can happen. I think Andrew would be better though. I just liked him a lot.
Even with his past, his history.
Nobody seems to care too much.
I think I don't know if you know about that. I don't know much about it either.
Know.
I just heard some hints.
He says some very mean things on the internet.
Yeah, when he was a teenager, he tweeted some stuff he shouldn't have.
And Justin too, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Really? What kind of stuff? I
Pull
might
out
have
your
to Google
phone.
this myself.
Like
Is
some
that kind of
racist
stuff?
stuff, some colorism stuff.
Yeah. I know that Justin went on a podcast and apologized and said all this stuff.
Yeah, but Andrew has not
He
confessed to his crimes.
actually sort of did. Just
Oh, I was not
recently,
aware of
just
this.
recently, it was like backstage at the mental hall. One of the reporters asked him about it, and he kind of his explanation wasn't as good as Justin's, but he at least did. I mean, there are blueprints now for how to respond to these things, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to be I don't know what the right term for this would be. But I don't think that athletes necessarily are the best at understanding consequences for social faux pas. Just because, and I look, I don't want to generalize too much here. Lord knows that's how Chris Harrison got into trouble. But it just seems like when you have such a strong personality like that, who's someone who really is a jock and really into athletics and really physical and sort of the testosterone and the aggression that goes with that, I think there's a lot of stuff that gets said potentially that's just oh yeah, I'm just being aggressive and cool and
Like the locker room talk.
Yeah, when it's well, I mean, everything you just said was pretty stupid and kind of mean, and maybe you shouldn't hate on people if they're overweight.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Hopefully he's changed.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate that I have to say that. Maybe we just shouldn't bully people on the internet.
That is a hot take.
That's a hot
You said there would be hot takes, but I didn't realize you meant hot takes.
I know. Well, and see, I'm sure that I fall short of this because I've said mean things about people here. I mean, I said some very mean things about Victoria from last season. I've said some mean things this season, but hopefully I don't go that far in my meanness. And ultimately, nobody really listens to this. So in the end, there's very low impact. So if you guys were hoping to become famous by this guest appearance. I'm very sorry.
No, wait,
Okay.
what? You told me that we
Cutting
were-
it all
I'm
off
just
right
kidding.
now. Yeah,
I will.
Like,
I
I haven't like read
No, go ahead.
exactly what Andrew has said, but for the most part, like it's like what I've seen on the show, I do like him, and I think I would enjoy seeing him as the Bachelor, even though I'm not super sure if he's like mature enough to actually find a wife and settle down. But I think he'd be a fun Bachelor.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, are any of the bachelors really ready for that?
Michael was.
Michael's.
Yeah.
He's ready.
Yeah, but he was a contestant though.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of the actual bachelors are,
Yeah.
but I would agree with that take. He is enjoyable to watch. He does have a fun energy, as you said, and I think that we would get some good television mileage out of that for sure. Which ultimately is all I care about. I mean, most of these people's lives are flaming train wrecks, but at the end of the day, I just go and live my life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see Michael as the Bachelor, but in like, I think he just like should go and find like a wife, like.
You mean
the
like a
normal
normal
way.
person?
I think that would be
Whoa!
best case
Now
scenario for him.
that's the hottest take, right there.
Melanie, you have to trust the process. You have to believe in this
It's like
process.
selfish of me for me to want him to be the Bachelor. If I truly care about Michael, I would want him to go and find a wife at like church or
You're
something. I don't know.
right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bachelor / Bachelorette way is just, it's a way that is so paved with angst and pain and potential STDs that
Oh gosh.
you just if you really honestly truly believe in your heart that love is something that you want. I hate that I have to say this, but perhaps you should do that in a non-televised way.
Good advice.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Look,
I'm crying
it's-
right now.
it's great advice, but nobody will ever take that. So, did you guys enjoy their footage of the trash talking from that bash ball or whatever the weird game that they played was?
Yeah.
I'm so
I
glad
love
they didn't.
seeing the guys just interact and have fun. Like that's the best part of the
Yeah, that makes
blooper
me
kind of
happy.
stuff.
Yeah, really. Who cares about this like finding love storyline?
She's like bros hanging out.
It's just a conduit for everything along the way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Honestly, that's probably. Well, I say probably, but maybe not. But I feel like they could potentially even have a bigger juggernaut of a show if they set it up so that it's the Bachelor, Bachelorette, but they don't actually. That isn't the focus of the editing at all. Like the episodes are centered around everything else that's going along, and occasionally you get this of like, oh man, there's this drama that and she had to send somebody home, but you don't really see much of it. And at the very end, they're like, oh, by the way, Katie got engaged to this guy. But in the meantime, you've just been having a grand old time watching these guys, like, oh yeah, like, oh, we don't have anything to do. We're just gonna like go hang out and chill and like run around this field and like have a fun time. way more wholesome.
They
Probably interesting as well.
they edit out all the funny stuff, which I hate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I saw on the date with like the two drag queens, there was a portion where they had them doing like a runway walk.
Mhm.
Oh, I'd
Like they
love to
cut
see
that
that.
Yeah.
completely. I was like,
That'd
that's
be
so
awesome.
like.
And
I
instead,
think
why
they
did-
have like time, but
yeah,
Yeah, but why would they leave the roast? And I use roast so incredibly loosely there.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, as terrible as it was, the trash talking footage was way more of a roast than anything that happened during that evening portion of that group date.
I agree.
You speak the truth. You speak the truth.
Just awful. So awful. But then I guess I think we've made it semi through most things until Katie's entrance here. How do I want to phrase this? I won't be too terribly mean. How do you feel about Katie? Just overall, based upon what you've seen in the show, maybe what you've seen outside the show, perhaps if you've seen anything outside of the show. What impressions?
I really liked her. I told Melanie at the very beginning, I feel like she, maybe unknowingly, kind of like set the tone to her like drama was a little bit more okay. With how she kind of like listened and said, "Hey, this guy's not for the right reason." And she's like, "Okay, gone." You know what I mean? Like listen to him, and
She
then
rewarded Kyle too.
yeah, I think so. But specifically when she came in to the Midtown All part, I was really surprised about how kind of like flat she was in like response to what some of the men
She did
had to
not
say.
seem happy.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah.
Because Michael did his long spiel and she basically was like, "Ha, that's cool, nice. It's good to see."
Yeah,
you."
she was like, you know, like that's great, but like I'm on my journey or whatever.
Yeah.
She literally said like with love and respect, like to both of them, like like she said the same thing to Michael and to Andrew when they both were like offering their what ifs, you know. So I don't know if that means like she's like engaged and she's like, I don't need that, or if she's just like not happy with how things turned out and it's just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, I've made a terrible mistake. I mean, I have so many more Instagram followers, but I've made a terrible mistake. Right, because the last thing you want is to either spend a couple years with somebody you can't stand or have to give back the ginormous Neil Lane ring.
Oh, do you have to give it back?
That's because if you don't make right, isn't it 2 years that you have to make it?
Yeah.
If you don't make it 2 years, you have to return the $100,000 ring.
Wow, I did not know that.
I always forget that there's $100,000 ring waiting there at the end for him.
Yeah. Insane. There was one funny moment though where she accidentally called Aaron Thomas.
Yeah. Oh, that was
That
bad.
was awesome.
That was
That
just
was
like
real
a sign
bad.
that she's like, I'm checked out. I'm not
Yeah.
here. And that's when he said, like, that's my mortal enemy. Thomas is my mortal enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just like, it was in my contract that I had to make this appearance, but I don't have to be happy about it.
Yeah, it's the I'm just here so I don't get fined kind of energy.
Yeah.
It's like when you do your chores as a kid just so you can, like, have your computer screen time and you're, like, not happy about it, though.
You're like, I profoundly object to this. I'm doing it, but only because I don't like the consequences.
I think that.
Yeah.
I think this is going to end in a way that she doesn't like this whole season, and I think that.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think she's gonna choose Blake or something like that and make a big mistake.
Oh, I would. That's my thought is that she's gonna choose Blake, and then a little later she's gonna realize how much of a general like poopy pants he is.
I like Blake. The thing is, like, I think they work well together. I feel like they are a good match. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh yeah, they're
if she-
both terrible people. Sorry. I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
No, it's a similar level of energy,
Mhm.
which I probably wouldn't want in my own life. But if that's something that they want in their life, more power to them. It's just the sort of thing where I guess it's like that high level of energy. It's almost towards like being a vegan. Like where like the sex positive energy, like you're so sex positive that you're basically just a vegan. You're the vegan of sex positivity, essentially. And that seems kind of like what it is with both of them in some ways. Like they're just like, this is who I am. I'm gonna put it out there, and it's like all fine and good, but at the same time, there is more in life to than that, and I understand that she has that backstory of like why she's reached this place in her life, of course, but I don't think that he has that same sort of backstory. I think he just can't control himself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was sex positive from the day he was like 13 years old, probably.
Yeah.
Like, that's his story.
I mean, both of his art projects in the last couple of seasons have been black boxed, so I feel like they have the same energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We may never know what that was, and we probably don't want to know what that was.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. I will say, 'cause I also want to get your impressions of the hosting change,
Mhm.
and if you think it worked, if you think they need to sack Caitlyn. Sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, that was the leading question. I'm sorry. Just give me your straight impression.
I kept forgetting who Caitlyn was. To be honest, there's some points. I was just like, who is
Well, to be fair, like you didn't see her originally on the
I
show. Like you know who
didn't.
Tasha
I
is. You
did.
watched her season. You like her.
Tasha's season was probably the first season that I really got into The Bachelorette, so that's probably why I was really excited for Tasha to host. I was really excited because I really liked her in her season. I didn't know Caitlyn. She was really fun. I loved the story of how her and her fiance got engaged. That was awesome. I was a big fan. I turned a big Caitlyn fan after that.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying that like we were thinking, like I haven't even noticed that Chris Harrison's been gone.
Yeah.
Like I thought it would be a bigger deal and be like, oh, this feels weird, and it's like I haven't thought about him a single moment. Which so I think it's working to some extent.
Little did you know, he actually wasn't important at all. And that's
think,
part.
I don't know. For the most part, I feel like their hosting has been working, but for some things, like when they come in for the final rose, like only one of them needs to come in.
Yes.
And be like some of that feels a little weird because I feel like they're one unit. So, I don't know. I wouldn't mind them both hosting still, but I don't imagine they're going to keep that forever. So I'm all for Tasha doing it alone. I think she could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel really weird saying this because like we dealt with Chris Harrison for the past forever, but it just doesn't feel like Caitlyn has the right energy. Which I can't believe I'm saying this because it's like, what energy did Chris Harrison have? But
well, Tasha
at least
has like a natural enthusiasm to her that it feels like genuine. Where I think maybe with Caitlyn it feels a bit more forced or like talk showy.
Yeah, Tasha's definitely more natural, I think, as when it comes to just being on camera, which helps a lot.
Yeah, there's like a spark or an it factor that Tasha has that Caitlyn doesn't quite have.
And I just don't think that the dynamic of the two of them together is something, frankly, that's worth keeping whatsoever. That's sort of my angle to all of this. It's not like I don't like Caitlyn or anything, but I think that if anything, having the two of them kind of detracts from the show a bit. It like adds this sort of, I guess, like schoolgirl energy where you just have the two of them like shrieking about stuff, which it's fine, I guess. I know I probably shouldn't rant so much about things, but it just seems like, okay, this was a fun little experiment. Why don't you just like let Tasha handle things from now on?
Yeah, I don't understand why they ever bothered with two people to start with.
Because they're worried there wasn't going to be enough energy, or that they were going to have to like compensate.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Which Chris Harrison, so high energy, so high octane.
I feel like what he didn't have a lot of energy, but just he said the same things every single season. You know what I mean? like the
It's
same
just-
exact way.
It's like a staple. Like
Oh yeah, I mean, and we've talked about this on the show before, but just it's very. The Bachelor franchise is very ritualized.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There are the things that happen when they happen, how they happen, and so I guess maybe they were just worried that having him gone, that it wasn't they were gonna like lose the ritual or something. But I mean, I think you just like have Tasha watch a few episodes, and she can just be like, okay,
yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. I think she
This
did
is the final rose.
I would
When
love
you're
for them
ready.
to do like a weird raffle thing where like it's like a lottery system. They pick a random fan to just come in and be like, "This is the final rose." Because personally, I would love to do that, but
That'd be
shake
cool.
things up a bit.
Yeah.
There's a free idea, Bachelor producers.
No, you can't give it to them for free. If they use it, they have to pay you.
That's right. We have a flat rate, so
A very high flat rate.
it's respectable. It's a respectable flat rate, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, even if they just like threw whoever it was up on a large TV screen there and was like, "Hey, I'm Stephanie from Grand Rapids, and I love The Bachelor. Gentlemen, this is the final rose." Like, I don't know. I feel like that would be kind of fun, but
That would be really
I
great.
would love that. Where do I sign up?
Well, I guess like everybody could record their own like version of it, and they just pick one. It's like you just wait to see if it's gonna be you. That'd be
Oh, that'd be so much more interesting than what they're currently doing, man.
right.
Yeah, and then like people would be incentivized to watch because they were like, "Oh, what if I make it on
Yeah,
TV
what if I make it on
tonight?"
TV?
because people love having a couple seconds of fame.
Mhm.
They do.
They'll absolutely love that.
They do be thirsty for it. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. What did you guys speaking of throwing people up on a screen? What did you guys think about Thomas's remote entrance / apology
I don't understand.
/
why he
prepared
wasn't
defense?
there.
I thought he had a lot of just like
He's a
word
politician.
salad.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, he said my life has been transformed. Like what?
He still
How?
thinks he has a chance to be the Bachelor. What he's thinking.
I'm ready for my next journey.
Yeah. I've learned so much from this journey, and I'm ready for my next journey, where I also hopefully make a lot of sponsorship money.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just weird.
it was fine. Like he was doing his typical like make it me sound good talk, and I don't think there was like enough in Katie to like challenge him or be like, no, actually, she's just like, hey Thomas, yeah, it's okay, we're
Yeah.
fine, we're good. Okay, bye Thomas.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, yeah, like I wasn't listening to anything you said. I wasn't paying attention. I don't care about you or anything you have to say. But, I wish you all the best, and hopefully I didn't hurt you too badly when I sent you home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think perhaps Katie is over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been too much of a roller coaster for her. She's sex positive and was there to find a husband, and if things threaten to derail that, then it's very traumatic for her. We've seen this throughout the season where she's canceled events and stuff because of things going on. It was quite a dramatic season,
Mhm.
and I don't know, Christy, is that how regular is it for leads to just be like, screw it, I'm not talking to you people anymore, goodbye?
I feel like only in recent seasons have I seen that, because Claire did that a couple of times. I don't remember if Tasha did it or not. But it's always like whenever a few people really need to speak to the lead and it just happens to be canceled at the same time. So
Mhm.
If if I didn't have your terrible influence in my life, Christy, and the first Bachelor/Bachelorette season I watched was Claire's, which it was, I would have never in my life watched another episode of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette.
That was the wildest season.
I know. I loved it.
Look, I didn't watch any of Tayshia's season, okay? I saw Claire's season, I was like, I am over this. And then Christy was like, we need to start a podcast. And I was like, oh no. And here I am, 2 seasons later.
Wow, you find a way. Love finds a way. You gotta trust the process.
I don't trust the process.
I appreciate that me and Christy are the type of people who drag our partners into this world of Bachelor Nation and just along for the ride.
You gotta expand the pool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Bring conversation.
The first time that Melanie told me that she was into The Bachelor, I was like, ugh, like cringe. Like I was like,
That's so weird.
that was a red flag. It was a
for
red
you.
flag.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant red flag for me as well.
And then I at first thought I made the mistake of saying, well, maybe we can watch it together.
We watched. It was a Colton season. First?
Yeah, it was Colton season was the first one we watched together. I mean, that was a pretty normal, I want to say, season. Like, nothing too crazy
Maybe
happened.
the end.
There was the fence jump at the end.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they were teasing that Finch jump from episode 1.
Yeah.
I was almost watching just to watch him jump the fence.
Yeah.
But after that, I don't know, I just shamelessly liked it. So, thanks, Melanie.
Wow. Changing lives, one reluctant man at a time. Yeah, it's not something that I would probably choose for myself. But here we are. So, yeah, I just every single time I saw Thomas on screen, I just sort of checked out. Because it was always just, oh, I'm just gonna say this random stuff, and it doesn't mean anything, but I want it to sound good. So like vocabulary word, smile outrageously, more vocabulary words, all while saying absolutely nothing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I did probably the only thing she actually engaged on, I would say, was when she was talking about how when he was talking to her the last time, and she was talking about her concerns, how he was sitting there smiling. The only way she engaged there, but total representation of him as a person. You know, they say, like, it's, what is it? You should listen twice as much as you speak. Not something that Thomas does whatsoever. Very much, I will shape my own destiny, just like Carl and Victoria, and I'm sure many, many before them and since.
What did you guys think of the bloopers?
Yeah, they're fun.
I think the tree branch prank was my favorite one. The one where the producer was hiding in the grass, in the leaves, and then pushed this branch out into the walkway as Tayshia and Katie were walking past.
Yeah.
Good old jump scare.
British accents.
Oh,
Yes.
that was cool.
More editing out of fun stuff, man.
Man.
It's because the seasons aren't supposed to be fun, guys. They're supposed to be highly dramatic
Angst.
and suspenseful.
What was the Christian guy's name? Remember? Mike?
Oh, yeah, Mike P.
He wasn't there.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I
No.
didn't even acknowledge him at all.
No.
Yeah, very strange.
His one with Tayshia was definitely the most awkward. Not
Yeah.
Tayshia. Oh my gosh, Katie. I hope he
That's
and
what she said because he had no one.
his one with Katie. I knew I was gonna call someone by the wrong name today, and I was just like worried. What
I mean, not as bad as
Aaron.
Katie, if you're listening, you can't be too mad at me, guys. But when he had the one with Katie, I don't know. I knew going into it they were gonna engineer it to be super awkward,
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's
of course.
exactly what happened. It was definitely the most awkward one-on-one that I've ever seen in my entire
I'm
life.
just too ashamed he couldn't come back.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Because you know they were gonna put highlight reels of the cuddle sash, like extended edition there.
or just an extended cut of him talking about how she was like his mom.
Yes.
Uh,
Oh my gosh. And he even posted. He was like, "Don't believe how they make me seem obsessed with my mom." But I like, in an interview, how like he said it like what 3 or 4 times, like
Yeah, and he said it straight to Katie's face as well. Like,
in a whisper too. Like that was.
yeah.
You remind me of my mom.
Everyone wants to hear.
I was like, no, man, no.
I lost it when that happened. I just was like, no. That's sort of dating faux pas level, similar to the whole camper van thing.
Mhm.
Like, okay, if you're trying to get someone interested in you, what do you not do? First of all, you don't bring them into your messy RV that has your dirty underwear on the couch. 2, you don't cuddle with someone and whisper in their ear that they remind you of your mother and how she would cuddle you. That's not that's not good.
Oh man.
That's real bad.
I think Katie handled it like a champ, though. Like she definitely was really cool through that whole thing. She gave him all the chances I think any normal person would.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, he lasted longer than I thought that he was going to,
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that things would have gone well had he made it to Fantasy Suites.
Ooh. I love the name.
Katie wasn't going to waste a spot on a fantasy
No.
suite with him.
No,
No.
there's no way. She's sex positive, you guys. Remember.
Yeah. She is taking full advantage of Fantasy Suites, for sure,
100.
which does not include Mike,
No.
Rip Mike.
or as people somewhat derogatorily call him online, MTV, because he's Mike the Virgin.
Ooh.
I haven't seen that. It's funny, but it's mean.
I'm glad that y'all are deeper
Yeah.
into Bachelor internet stuff, because now I'm like learning all this cool stuff, like all like the drama behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to, because otherwise I just look like a complete incompetent nincompoop, because Christy knows everything.
I keep up with her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you struggle with
I mean,
seeing
there's no way.
spoilers at all, Christy, as you like delve into the Young Men world of Bachelor? stuff?
No, I purposely seek them out.
Oh, really? You do?
Yes.
Do you know how it's gonna end, like right now?
I mean, I know what's been said, but it's not always correct. So there's always the chance that it's wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, but the chances probably are not high.
It's been right most, like I think, right? Wasn't it right like in Tasha's season? Like where they were about
Yeah.
Claire and Dale too.
Yeah, who's right about that?
And then, of course, Christy won't ever tell me anything. She's like, I know everything, but
Figure it out yourself.
you will never find it out from me. Unbelievable. So rude. I'll say probably, kind of towards wrapping things up here. I would say even more funny to me than the tree branch prank there was the cameraman walking backwards and falling over the table.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean,
too.
he just has this super expensive network TV camera on his shoulder, and he just goes over backwards.
All in there.
Man, as somebody who deals with gear a lot, I felt for him, but also, man, so hilarious.
He saved it though. He didn't ruin the camera.
No, and I think Katie actually was there and sort of partially caught him as well.
Hot tip, it's gonna be Katie and the
Unbelievable.
cameraman at the end of all this. That was the meet cute.
She felt the spark.
Is that like Pam and the boom guy?
Oh yeah, you're right. Pam and the boom guy moment.
Yep. Well, I will say, since this is a Men Tell All episode, very light on the action. You had just one single, solitary, sad kiss. Even though the past few episodes have been moving quite along, typically what you can expect. Because, look, I believe in integrity. Okay? If this kiss counter is inaccurate, then what is the purpose of my life, after all? So I don't just count kisses willy-nilly. I don't count kisses from footage that we've seen before. None of that.
Wow.
So somehow, despite being so sex positive, she is way behind
Wow.
our previous lead.
Who's the previous
Slacking,
lead?
honestly.
No.
Matt.
Yeah, Matt James.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was quite up there, honestly. Any final thoughts from our wonderful guests here this evening?
Well, I'm just thankful to be able to have a place to come talk Bachelor stuff with. So I'm just thankful for the invitation to come join you guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, this is fun.
No
I'm glad you guys came.
problem. Yeah, we always like to expand our horizons. You know, tap new untapped audiences. All of that stuff.
Wow.
You know, we're just we're kind of blowing up right now. We're trying to capitalize on that. You know, I think we had 11 people listen to our last episode, so like things are heating up.
Gosh, have y'all gotten a sponsorship from Raid Shadow Legends yet? Has that happened?
No, not yet, but I'm
Okay.
expecting that.
Okay, cool.
Pretty soon.
Cool.
Soon enough, I'll just be like, Raid Shadow Legends.
Perfect. I can't wait to hear it.
I would never. I do not support that app. So
Until they support you. That's the thing.
yes, nobody. If anybody's listening to this, do not try that app until they pay me. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'll hold off. I was going to download it, but now I'm like, not until they pay Sampy, that's for sure.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Christy, where can our fine, wonderful listeners go if they want to interact with us, ask questions, make comments, complain about the low audio quality? Where can they go?
You can email us at groupdatespod@gmail.com, and our Instagram is groupdatespodcast.
Excellent. Yes. Let us know what you think. What do you want from us? That's what I always want to know. What do the people want? Well, until next week, we will hopefully get to see some great fantasy suites. Wanna say anything?
Can't wait for that.
I can't wait.
You know-
I'm really going to go crazy with her being sex positive, but
Oh,
also they're going to hype it up, and then someone's not going to be great at fantasy suites, and that's why they're going to go home. That's my prediction.
The spark wasn't there.
Yeah, you gotta have this. Respect the spark, you guys. Respect the spark. This has been Group Dates and Hot Takes, a Bachelor Nation podcast. I'm Sampy.
And I'm Christy. We'll talk to you next week.